It's now we are entering the 8th day of Chanukah, which is called Shmini Shel Chanukah. In fact, it's Zot Chanukah. Yeah, the 8th day is called Zot Chanukah. So let us see now a very interesting idea in English about what is this the 8th Chanukah. So I brought in my book, basically, the glow of the Sabbaths and festivals. Now, the mystical glory, really, this is the basis of my book. So, let us see now what I wrote about the 8th day of Chanukah. And then, really, we learn very important ideas about this special and important day. It's written that this is a day that if somebody has a problem to have children, this is a day that prayers can help. But this is a day which represents really being in a close connection with God. So the first thing is important to point out, which I said before, that there is connection between Sukkot, the festival of Sukkot, and Chanukah. The festival of Sukkot brought its light into the darkness of exile, and a new festival came out, Chanukah. This is what is written. The same thing happened with Shavuot, when we got the Torah, but did not get it willingly, it was under force. Then on Purim, we got it willingly. So it is a very interesting idea, and therefore there are similarities between Sukkot and Chanukah. Now, one of the similarities between Chanukah and Sukkot is also expressed by the fact that the last day of Sukkot is also called Shmini Atzeret, the 8th day, and it represents, the last day represents really like which we call the pinnacle, which embodies the essence of the entire holiday. I mean, really, in the 8th day, we have basically all the 7 days coming there together. So it is really a concentration of all the lights that we got on the days of Chanukah. This is also Hebrew word Aseret, means like collection. Yeah, so Aseret. The same thing, Simchat Torah, the happiness of the Torah is like the collection of all what we got, the lights of the 7 days before of Sukkot. So the 8th and the last day of each holiday is considered the pinnacle which embodies the essence of the entire holiday. This is what they said. So the 8th divine attribute is understanding, Binah. You know, there's different spheres, and there is a piece of wisdom, Da'at, and Binah, understanding. Understanding really is the root, the source of repentance, of Teshuvah. It's written, Levavo Yavin v'Shavar Afalo. When you understand, he's healed. So, this is exactly what the days of Chanukah, if you saw on YouTube, the Shabbat Chanukah especially, come to numerical value of repentance, and also, which I showed you, that 8 times Chanukah, Nigmatia, also come to the Gimatia of the word Teshuvah. So, as this is connected with understanding, basically, this is the basis of Chanukah. When we sing in our song, mouths to Bnei Binah Yemei Shmona Kabu Shir Unanim. People of understanding, they fixed the 8 days of Chanukah. So definitely understanding and Chanukah goes very much together. Now, what is really important to know, the existence of the soul is dependent upon understanding. As is written, there is a book, in Job we said, and the soul of Almighty which gives them understanding. Yeah, the soul of man, and understanding goes together. The attribute is also expressed through the letters neshama. By the way, this is the beauty of the Holy Tongue. Neshama has the same letter like the word 8, same letters, Shmona and Neshama. So, clear connection between number 8 represents above nature, above the 7. So the Neshama, the soul of man. Also the same letter is the letter of Hashemen, the oil, because the oil represents also spirituality, wisdom, understanding. And this is when you have water and oil together, the oil always is on top. This is how Shabbat to do, because the water represents the materialism, this world, and Shemen, the spirituality, wisdom, understanding. So always these values should be above. By the way, also the numerical value of Shemen, if you write it fully, is Israel, and the inner letters come to Yosef, and Joseph, Israel goes together. Sherit Yosef. Israel is also called Yosef. So this is really definitely important day that we connected also with Jacob and also with Yosef. The day of spirituality, as we said, a time which is very suitable for prayers is written, yeah. And we need it very much now, definitely. The problems we have in Israel are not simple at all. Now, what is also very interesting to analyze the name of this 8th day, which is called Zot Chanukah. Zot Chanukah, this is Chanukah, but why Zot? So different explanation, but one of them, which is really the common one, because on this day we read in the Torah the story of the inauguration of the Mishkan, which is basically Chanukah, Chanukah HaMizbeach, Chanukah. Amazingly, you have in the portion that we read on the 8th day from Zot, Chanukah HaMizbeach, we have exactly for 89 verses. You can see it starts from the verse 1 and finish with the 89. Why? Because 89 is the Gematria, numerical value of the word Chanukah. Yeah, Chet, 8, Nun, 50, Vav, 6, Kaf, 20, and A, 5, together 89. And exactly the summary of Chanukah in this portion of the Torah, I have these 89 verses. Also, the beauty, we see that everything has a reason, a source in the Torah. Now, analyzing the word Zot, in Hebrew Zot, when you speak about something clear or you show something, Zeh, maybe it is like English. In English you have that it is, and in Zot it is, yeah, Zot. Interesting, that in English, and Zot in Hebrew basically represents something clear. But in Hebrew, you have amazing phenomena in the letters Zot, which is Zayin, Aleph and Taf. 3 letters. Zayin is the 7th letters, and Aleph, Taf. What is the idea? So Kabbalistic books is amazing. The Zayin is 7, because this is a physical world based on 7. And Aleph, Taf is the first letters of the Aleph and the last letter of the Aleph, which represents the beginning of the source of creation. Bereshit bara Elokim et, in the beginning God created the alphabet, and the alphabet, the alphabet, were the basis of creation, as we saw in all my books. I wrote many books, all of them show this. They are taken for all sources. Book of Formation, that is a book related to Abraham. There is a clear explanation about creation from the letters alphabet. Yes, so Aleph Taf represent basically the root of creation. This is what I said in my books, while getting to see the importance of the Holy Tongue. So in my site, Glazerson.com or GlazersonBooks.com, Amazon also, you put the author Glazerson. But very important books that the word was created. So Zot, the word Zot is representing the connection between the physical word Zayin, 7, and the spiritual source of it, which is Aleph Tav. So Zot, now this is why our rabbis tell us that in the Torah there are 10 items are called Zot, items. For example, the Shabbat, the Pasuk said, Asher Enosh Yaseh Zot, the Sabbath, Shabbat. Then you have Zot HaBrit, this is the covenant. We have also Zot HaTorah. So 8 things, and really the Midrash says it about Aaron. When Aaron enters on Yom Kippur, the Holy of Holies, so it's written, Bazot Yavo Aaron. With Zot he will come. So there is the merit of keeping those 10 Zot. Interesting. So Zot really represent this idea. Like, take for example Shabbat. Shabbat is a day, really in the physical world, but the roots are spiritual, the extra neshama. So this is why Shabbat is Zot, Zayin and Aleph Tav. So Zot Chanukah basically represent the same idea. So very, very interesting to see this connection. Now, what we are doing on the 8th day with the lamp is Chanukah. So on the 8th day of Chanukah, there are 8 lamps radiate the light of Torah. Sukkot and Chanukah are similar in this respect as well. How the last day of Sukkot, Shmini Atzeret, is designated as a time for celebrating the privilege of having the Torah. On this day, the light of the Torah, which brings happiness to the soul, is revealed as the sun tells us. The statutes of God are upright, making the heart joyful. Sukkot, like the Chanukah lights, also indicates the holiness of the mitzvot, as it is clear from the implication found in the word sukkah. If you take the letter sukkah, right? So the letter of the word sukkah is spelled out. We said many times that in Hebrew you have gematria, full gematria. When it takes the full letter, because every letter has few letters. Like Aleph is Aleph. We said Aleph represents Eluf, represents God. Ulpan, learning. Yeah, this is really, in English you don't have it. In English you have A, B, C, C, you have E, E, E. But you don't have full meaning, definitely, yeah? Only in Hebrew. So it is very interesting that if you write the word sukkah fully, like samech, samech mem kaf, vav, yud vav, kaf pei, so it adds up to numerical value 248. What is 248? So just have to keep 248 positive commandments, so it means it corresponds to the 248 positive commandments. Constantly, the idea is definitely Sukkot with its numerical mitzvot is considered equal in holiness to the 248 positive mitzvot of the Torah. The mitzvot of Sukkot are the instruments when allow the light of Torah to shine in all its brilliance on Shmini Atzeret, right? So the illumination of the Torah light on Zot Chanukah, the last day of Chanukah, is expressed by the fact that on Zot Chanukah, a total of 36 lights, without the Shamash definitely, have been kindled during the 8 days of the holiday. The word light, it is very interesting, the word light appears in the Torah 36 times. Very interesting. 36 times you have the Hebrew word of light, me'or or ner. Interesting, 36. Clearly connected with 36 candles of Chanukah. Yeah? So the idea is definitely is showing us what is the basis of Chanukah, 36. Now, it is famous in Kabbalah, there's a hidden light which shined, it was light, and to Adam only was for 36 hours. during the Shabbos 24 and 12, when we was already created. It's only 36 hours this hidden light was in this world shining, lightening. But because of the sin of Adam, not especially because of this, but altogether God saw that the light, which was a light that one could see from the beginning of the world to the end of the world, so it will be misused by the wicked people. So God hid it for the future, the time of the Messiah. So the time of the Messiah will have the hidden light. But now, so on Chanukah is written that the 36 candles are having them sparks of the hidden light. Apparently, not everyone can see it, but apparently righteous people can clearly see it. But this is really the connection between 36 and Chanukah. Now, when we go more into it, you see, we can see also other interesting things. If you know the Talmud, which is really the oral Torah, the oral Torah really started with after time of Chanukah. It is very interesting. It means all this oral Torah, the Talmud, started there. Interesting, they are deep idea because of the downfall of the philosophy, so it came out in a positive way through the Talmud. So in the Talmud we have 36 Gemarot, tractates, and 6 Mishnat Me'av. We have really 36 altogether. Masechtot, which called you Masechtot, or Gemarot, or Mishnah, which all really are in this 36, indicating to the oral Torah, which also was basically, Kabbalistically, has to do with the hidden light. Very direct. So, as I said, the idea of the 36 candle of Chanukah, and the 36 Gemarot, oral Torah Sheba'al Peh, which is called oral Torah, and 36 times you have the word lights in the Torah. It cannot be coincidence. I'll show you the importance of this number 36. It is so interesting that in this portion that we read about the dedication and inauguration of the Mishkan, so there is a summary of all the vessels which were offered in that, So it was written there that there were 12 silver dishes, karot kesef. There were 12 silver bowls and 12 golden spoons. So 12, 12 and 12, altogether 36 vessels. So definitely this corresponds to the 36 righteous men in every generation, upon whom the world exists and depends. Very famous principle in Judaism that we must have 36 real righteous people, that the world will carry on. And this really to do with also the lights, the 36 lights, and this is also indicated in those vessels which were brought in the temple. So, as I said, many ideas behind the word light, and the Sfat Emet, one of the great commentators, it's very, very interesting and important things in his books, Sfat Emet, the Torah. So he says, the Sfat Emet says that these 36 righteous men should be understood in relation to the 36 times the Torah mentions the word Or, as we said, and that they represent the light with which the world was created. The first thing of created was light. The light is revealed also by the 36 candles which are in the Chanukah. For just as the 36 candles which are lit on Chanukah, for just as the princess perpetuated this light with their sacrifices, so did the Hashmonaim, the Hasmonean, through their unwavering loyalty, bring this also, this light to the mitzvah of the Chanukah candles. So altogether, the illumination of Chanukah, according to Rabbi Tzadok HaKohen, very famous books also, he says the following: it is a continuation of Shabbos through the year. And with respect to this feature, Chanukah is the initiator of the light present on Shabbos. For this reason, Rav Tzadok explains, the laws and matters of Chanukah are dealt with in the Gemara tractate. You know that all the idea of Chanukah is in the tractate in the Gemara Shabbos. So in our analysis of Shabbos, we saw that its basic spiritual quality is a product of the illumination coming from the ethereal world which sheds their light upon it. The holy light of Shabbos draws its strength from Chanukah, which taps and channels this spiritual current. So I mean, altogether, very interesting, the connection really of Shabbos and Chanukah. Really, both are connected. In fact, the Gemara, the tractate says, a man who is very careful in lightening the lights of Shabbos, the kind of Shabbos and Chanukah, will have children, Talmidei Chachamim. Every children will be scholars and yeshiva and so on. So we see that really the light of Shabbos and light of Chanukah are connected. In fact, in my book, Hidden Light of Shabbos, I brought clear Kabbalistic places that you see that on Shabbos also we have sparks of the hidden light like we had in Chanukah. Rabbi Tzadok maintains, interesting, that within the oral law, in Torah Shebal Peh, is hidden this eternal illumination. The oral law, in the Torah, is the equivalent of the holy attribute of dominion, the dominion of the mouth and speech. Similarly, Shabbat, the seventh day, correspond to dominion, the seventh attribute. So let me tell you all of this. Be seen in my book, in Light of Shabbos. But this is the most idea, right? As this is the connection, as we said, about Chanukah, Sukkot, the hidden light, all are really connected. By the way, it's so interesting to point out, we know that the date of Chanukah was the 25th of Kislev. The Hebrew word, it means 25th, Gematria Kor, is the Hebrew word mean Kor, like this. But those letters are very significant, according to Kabbalah, because the letters Kor represent a concealment of spiritual light. How you can see the letter Kaf, pronounced Kaf, which is also a word for covering, Kaf. In Hebrew, Kaf is also to cover something, lichpot. When you are kofeh, vessel on something, yeah, it means Kaf, really the shape of Kaf, also not represent covering. Interesting. So, the letter Kaf, it's also pronounced Kaf, yeah? So, Opsiuk, the letter A, one of the letters in God, sacred name, you know, A, Yud Ke Vav Ke. So, Kaf A represent really, basically, covering the light, right? And it means there is a light, but his hidden is covered, which clearly represent the hidden light. And this is what represents the holy light, which is the hidden light. Okay? Now what is so significant in this idea, that Kaf A are the basis of the word Kohen. This Kabbalah said, Kohen is Kaf A, the letter Kaf A, and Nun, Kabbalistic, if you remember a lot we spoke about this, represents the 50 gates of understanding, which is basically the hidden light. So the Kohen, especially the Kohen Gadol, who was very much involved in Chanukah, the Kohanim, the Hashmonaim, all of them basically really brought this concealed light, the hidden light, concealed. And this was done on Kaf A, Kislev. Now the most interesting in this date, the 25th, is not only the letter 25th, but Kislev. Kislev is based on two parts. Kas, covering, like case in English, here case. Kas, in Hebrew, is covering, lechasot kasor. So in months of Kislev, you have Kas, you have the covering of Lamed Vav. Lamed Vav is Gematria 36, Lamed Vav. So Kislev, where you have Chanukah in it, is the time that the hidden light, which really basically had to do with 36, is hidden. But people will keep Chanukah properly, can feel this wonderful light, the hidden light. So, this is a very small part, really, of my book. In English, in Hebrew, much more material, about the secrets of Chanukah. What is Chanukah? But as I said, a lot written about the great attributes of this day, the 8th day of Chanukah. And therefore, really, it's worthwhile to keep it properly, to pray for what you need. I think that prayers on this day are accepted more than others. And in fact, according to, it's brought really in books that the end of the sealing Chatima, the judgment, the verdict, which was done in Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur, the end of it is really Chanukah, the end, the 8th day of Chanukah. It means that up till now, a man can, by praying, repentance, can change if, Chas v'Shalom, something bad was decreed up in heaven. So, interesting and important day, and let us see that it will go over properly. And let us say we need a lot of prayers today, not for people themselves, but the situation in Israel, what is going on, not simple at all. Hoping that God will help us, and as this year we saw, really destined to Messiah, but as Maimonides, as the Rambam said, that in order to get Messiah, we have to do tshuva, repentance. So let us do it, especially this day, which is really, as we saw, that the Gematria of 8 times Chanukah is repentance, and now we are in the 8th day of Chanukah, which really has accumulating of all the merits of Chanukah, of the light. So let us hope that peace, tranquility, light will come to Israel and to the whole world.